But for those of you who don't know, my name is Michael Forrest, and welcome to It's Quest Time. Now, before we get going, I'm gonna ask everybody if they can not to send me any text messages while I'm up here, because that can really throw you off. And if you have any questions or comments, we take those at the end. Really, and if after this event you should need to reach us for any reason, really the best way to do that is by joining our Discord. You'll find the address somewhere on the stage over here. It's like down. Where is that thing? I gotta memorize this. Oh, there you go. It's right there. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Now, also, you're going to notice that on your menu wheel, at the very top of that menu wheel, you have a microphone icon. Now, when that microphone icon is clear, that means we can hear you and everything that's happening in your environment. So, if we get a lot of people in here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn that to red. If that should happen, just because you're muted doesn't mean you can't express yourself. What you're going to notice is in your menu wheel there, you have a pink cheek smiley face. And when you click on it, you're going to see your menu wheel open up in the air right in front of you. And it's going to give you a wide variety of options for which to express yourself, right? So if I'm up here and I share something really deep, something powerful, something meaningful, and you feel it start building up inside you can just let it out just like that. Maybe, just maybe, I got some backup dancers backstage and they're come on out and we go break into It's Quest Time, the musical, and you're all very impressed. You can throw up the applause I live for just like that. I can take a moment to drink it all in because it feels good. All right, now also if I ask you guys a yes or no question, you could say yes like this by smiling. You can say no by frowning. And if I say or do something funny, you can show me you're laughing with the silly faced emoji right here. And then there's this thing. This is by far the most distracting of all the emojis. I think we can agree on that. A giant hand sticking out of your head. It's kind of distracting. All right, so we're going to use this as kind of a signal. If something goes wrong where, my voice gets choppy or I'm waving my hands around, it looks like I'm talking, but no sound's coming out and you can't hear me, right? That's the kind of thing I'm going to want to know about. And if only one hand goes up, I'm probably going to keep on going because sometimes it's just somebody messing around, or maybe it's just you and you need to re-enter the space. But if it is something like, where I see a bunch of you doing it, well, then I'm going to have to, I know something's going on and I'm going to have to respond to it. You can also press X to close the emoji panel in the center there. But it's a good idea to leave it open during events like this because it gives me some feedback. It lets me know how I'm doing. And, more importantly, it lets the people around you know what you're experiencing. So if the person next to you starts going like this, right, that means they found something funny. And you may not agree. You might be like, that's not funny at all. I don't know what's with this guy. I'm gonna go stand over here. And you can do this because this is VR. Except, well, not up here on the stage because we agreed you guys wouldn't, block this big display here like that. I think I covered that. Either way, that's going to be our bond. That's going to be our pact. Now, listen, before we set out, let me get some idea of, what kind of crowd we're dealing with here. All right. How many of you are on an Oculus Quest right now? Either a Quest or a Quest 2, either one. Just put your hands up or show me some emojis. All right, cool. How many of you are new to Altspace? Do we have any new Altspace users today? Let's see. All right, a couple of you. That's good. Oh, well, 3. Oh, wow. All right, well, welcome to Altspace. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. Got a lot of cool stuff in here. It's a lot of fun. Also, let's see. How many of you, let's see the difference. How many of you are on an original Quest right now? An original Quest. Anybody on an original Quest? All right, cool. All right, nice. All right, good. So we'll get some idea of what we're dealing with here. All right, now when I was waiting for my Quest to arrive, now I started out in Altspace on an Oculus Go, and you may not be aware of this, but the Oculus Go only has one controller. So, I was, and I grew up in Brooklyn, so I'm in Brooklyn, New York, so I'm used to talking with my hands a lot. I'm going like this all the time, but in Altspace, all anybody saw was my one hand going like this, right? So I didn't feel like I was expressing myself as fully as I could. I was like, I want that hand. Right. So when I was waiting, when the first Quest came out and I was waiting for it to arrive, right, when it finally did, I took a look at these controllers and I was like, man, that's a lot of buttons. And it is, too. It's a lot to take in. It could be like, it's a lot to absorb. But it only takes a few days to about a week or so to finally start getting a handle on these controls. But when my Quest 2 arrived, I took a look at the controls and you know what? They're pretty much the same thing. There's only a couple of differences. The main difference being on the Quest 2, you have this area on the side for your thumb, like a thumb rest. And when you touch it, your thumb's going to go down. All right, I notice there's kind of a delay on the right controller, but your thumb will go down like that. And on the original Quest, if you touch the buttons or the thumbstick, that'll make your thumb go down, right? If you just touch it, you don't have to actually push down on it. It'll just sense that your thumb is touching it and it'll lower your thumb in Altspace, And that's important for body language because body language in Altspace is like a really big deal. The other difference is on the bottom of the controller, on the original Quest, you have a flat button, and on the Quest, it's kind of a concave button. But we're going to just refer to that as the bottom button. This way we can address both groups of people, regardless of what device you're on, okay? Now, the first thing we're going to talk about, I like to go over the controls some. I mean, listen, I know if you're here, you have a handle on the basics. I know the left thumbstick moves you around like this. I know that the right thumbstick's going to turn you like this. And when you combine them, you get these big, elaborate circles that make my presentations more dramatic. If you guys can go ahead and go in these like big circles like this, this way when I look out, it's going to look like all of you are ballroom dancing. Let's take a look. All right, let's see how you guys are doing. All right. A little, yeah, that's fancy. Looking good. I always say, I wish you guys could see what this looks like, and now you can. If you look up in the air, you're going to see Ravenhall is floating up in the air there. That's our YouTube camera, and this episode will air in a couple weeks. So if you want to see what you look like, just stand on this rug here and wave on out, and you can feel VR famous and be like, "Hey, YouTube, how's it going? How you doing?" We've got PepSuber88 in here. We've got Taco Tony. We've got Alien. We've got Juliana. We've got George or Jorge FG. We've got Alien. We've got Hummingbird. Oh, a lot of people came in there all of a sudden. We got Dante. We got a lot of people in here. We got Mark. Hey, Mark, how's it going? So come on in, Altspace. I think you'll enjoy it. All right, now the first button we're going to talk about here is the grip button. On either side of your controller, you grab with your third finger on the side of your controller here. And here you have your grip button. Now you're going to use this to interact with your environment, with your world building or in your campfire, and you're grabbing those bean bags, or you're launching those fireworks off, right? Or grabbing those basketballs. If my backup dancers can toss me out a couple of basketballs, because if you've never tried the grip button, now's the time. Just point at one of these basketballs here and just throw a couple of those around, until you get like kind of a feel for it. That was kind of a bad throw. Backup dancers, come on, give me. There we go. There we go. All right, so go ahead and give that a try. Now listen, if you're having a room scale experience, right? A lot of times what's going to happen is you're going to walk out past your main menu, and for some reason, that's always the time somebody tells you to open your main menu, right? I don't know why that is. It just happens that way. They're like, open your main menu, and you look around, especially if you're new. They're like, it's a blue and white triangle button. And you're looking around, and you're like, I don't see it. And they're like, it's right down on your left. And you're looking around going, no, it's not, right? If that happens to you, and, it's always going to be behind you, and that can get old pretty quick. It's important to remember that on an Oculus Quest and on an Oculus Quest 2, the main menu is in your hands at all times, right? You're going to find on your left controller this bottom button here, and on the Quest 2, it's kind of a concave button, but on the original Quest, it's like flat. When you press this, your menu is going to open up in front of you, right? And so, like, what I like to do is I like to flick my hand out like that, and now my menu's open. You don't have to do the hand flick. It doesn't make it work any differently. I think it's fun, right? Now I flick my hand again like that, and my menu's closed. All right, so remember that. If you can't find your main menu, listen, I haven't touched that blue and white triangle button in months. I just don't do it. I'm a Quest user now. So what I do is I just bang on that button, and my menu opens, and that's how I do it. So that'll save you some time if you're looking around, where's my menu? Where is that thing? Or if you need to bring it to you, that's another quick way to do it too, because as soon as you close the menu, the circles will be back where they belong. All right, now another thing you have to worry about on either Quest is your vertical height. When I first came into Altspace on the Quest, I went to the campfire to check it out, and I noticed everybody was a lot shorter than me. Right, it was uncomfortable, and I mean, I was like ridiculously up there because I stood up in the load screen. You have to worry about your vertical height like that. Is somebody willing to change your vertical height for me so we can demonstrate this? Show everybody what that's like. If anybody's willing to kind of stand up a little bit. Anybody? All right, there we go. We got let's see, Iceman. Awesome, Iceman. Show everybody, stand on the rug here, right? Now show everybody what happens when you press down on your left thumbstick. And YouTube PepSuber. Let's try that. Press down your left thumbstick and show everybody what happens. Boom. You see how they snapped into place, right? This is a quick way to adjust your vertical height. And the move is actually tied to your head. And you can make minor adjustments to your height in this way. Like if I look down and I press down on that left thumbstick, you'll notice my avatar pops up a little bit. Now, if I look up and press down, my avatar will be a little bit shorter than everybody. So if you want to get the ideal perfect height and be the same height as everybody, just look straight ahead and press down on that left thumbstick like it's a button, because it is, and then you'll be at the same height as everybody else. And so this is good. If you feel like you're ever feeling too tall or you're too short, you can just do that, and that'll take care of that. All right, now another thing, button that's important is your teleport button. On your right controller up toward the top. It'll also work on your left controller if you have your left pointer enabled. But if everybody can join me along this wall here, let's try this out. If you're standing along this wall and you press and hold that button down and aim at the floor, you're going to see a teleport target. It looks like a circle with a pointer in it. All right, and if you aim that across the room, right toward that brick wall, as soon as you let go, boom, you get thrown right across the room. Everybody teleport to me while there's still time. You can do it. All right, on your left controller, you're going to find that you have a trigger button, right? And this is going to cause you to accelerate whether you're walking or flying. So if you hold that down now and start running this way, what we can do is go into a big circle, right? We can make a hurricane, everybody. Let's see if we can make like a big whirlpool in here. And if you get dizzy, you probably shouldn't do this thing. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see how you're doing. Let's check out the shape here. All right, that's not very circular, people. It's mostly circular. It's kind of semi-organized. All right, that kind of works. All right, yeah, we're doing it. Who's dizzy? Anybody dizzy? Raise your hand up if you're dizzy. If anybody's getting dizzy, raise your hand up. All right, got a couple of you. And, if you get dizzy, you should stop, right? All right, let's see. What else do we have here? Now, let's see. We got the select button, we got that. Now, when I started messing around with this stuff, because listen, there's one more thing you should know with the teleport button, right? And the accelerate. You combine this to get some interesting effects, right? If we face the stage here, right, and we hold down on that accelerator button on your left controller, your index finger, and move backwards and teleport at the ground, right, you kind of start doing the Altspace moonwalk, right? And I'm hoping that's not a copyright violation because I really like that bit. It's kind of fun, right? Another thing you can do is one time, you'll notice I come down into the audience an awful lot, right? And one time I got crowded by all these people and I needed to get back on the stage in a hurry. It turns out that you can teleport backwards. Just put your hand over your shoulder, hold on a teleport button, and boom, like that, back on the stage, right? It's a cool move. I love doing that. It feels awesome. Give that a try. So let's see. So you can teleport backwards. And listen, I first started getting a handle on this stuff when I used to go to the Universe. It was back then. It was held in a really large world, right? If you ever been, it's a really good show. And I walk up to the edge of the world, right? And I'm just exploring after the event. And I went a little bit too far. And what happened was I fell off the stage. All right, just now I fell off the stage and I fell off the world then, right? And I looked over, and when I looked over there, I saw there was a cliff, and I aimed at it, and I was able to teleport onto it before I could respawn. I mean, it's not like you're going to get hurt in all space, right? You're just going to respawn. But what happened was I'm getting some feedback on the microphone there from somebody, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to mute everybody temporarily. There we go. All right. So just remember those emojis, everybody. All right, there we go. So what happened was, I knew in that moment I was finally getting used to the controls, and you will too. It doesn't take very long, right? As a matter of fact, there's going to come a moment where you always feel the plastic in your hands, but there's going to come a moment where these actually become your hands. You're going to get so immersed. You're going to be so present in this space that you won't even think about it, and these hands are going to become like your own hands, right? And for example, if I tell everybody, hey, look out that window, right, I'm not thinking about how I'm doing that, right? It takes more effort to explain how I'm doing it. In case you don't know, if you hold down your grip button, you're going to notice that your hands go into a point, right? And you can combine this into a variety of different gestures. Like, for example, if you go like this, you give me a Brooklyn hello, like do it back home, be like, how you doing, everybody? How you doing? Just, go like that, right? If you put these together, you can make the Altspace logo and hold them up nice and high. Show me some Altspace pride, everybody. Let me see how that looks. Oh, that's nice. Get a good stretch too. It feels good, right? All right. Now you can twist that around too, make that kind of a picture frame. How cool would it be to take screenshots like this? You just squeeze your trigger and be like, snap, snap, screenshot, snap, screenshot. I really want them to put that in. Or if you hold down that grip button and the trigger button, you give me 2 thumbs up, let me know when I'm doing a good job, right? Maybe I'm not. Be like, what, Michael Forrest? You kind of off today. That whole late entry thing, it just wasn't very professional. Also, you can, maybe give me a little bit of both like this. Oh, I'm being told I'm being choppy. Anybody else think I'm choppy? Nobody use the hand signal. Okay, cool. All right, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. In Altspace, the way we clear our voice out is by re-entering the space under your general section of your settings menu. So I'm going to re-enter real quick. I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah, it's too bad we can't.
Oh, what's going on here, everybody? Oh, look at this. Oh, this is that Quest time. I've heard good things about the host. All right, he's amazing. All right, let's check this out. All right, that's me. I'm going to get up there. All right, now the thing to remember about these hand gestures, right, is when you see somebody doing something you like, I don't have my back to you guys. I'm just getting my slides out. All right, so when you see somebody doing something you like, right, the best way to pick this stuff up is to mirror it, right? Copying it and making your own. Like one of the first Quest times we ever had, somebody came up to the stage, right, and they started going like this. And I thought it was cool, so I did it back. And then the whole audience started going like this, and I just thought it was cool, right? And that really is the best way to make this stuff your own. Like if you see somebody do something, you see 2 guys come together in Altspace, and they make these fists together, which you can do by holding down your grip and your trigger and touch your thumbs to the thumb pad or the thumb rest, right? And, they go up to each other and they give each other a fist bump. Here we go. Iceman, give me a fist bump. Let's show up this like, boom. Give me the boom. A little delayed on the boom. We'll work on it later, right? But that's like body language is so powerful in Altspace. You can say so much without actually saying anything at all. Like if you're in an event like this, and let's say you're moving around because you're really excited, going, it's Quest time. Oh, it's Quest time. It's so great. And all of a sudden a moderator comes up to you, right? And they start shaking their head slowly back and forth like this. Yeah, that means don't do that thing. They didn't have to say a word. All right. So a lot of these gestures and stuff are really going to help you communicate, even at times when you're not using your voice. And that's one of the best things about VR. It's really great. Now, another button you need to be concerned about, and don't press this now, because if you disappear, I'm going to feel it. I will. It's gonna cut me down deep. All right. But you're gonna see on the right controller, down on the very bottom, you have this bottom button. And on the Quest, it's flat, and on the Quest 2, it's concave. But you got to think of this as an eject button. It's the best route out of Altspace. If somebody comes in your space and says, "Hey, dinner's ready," you'll be like, "Ooh, gotta go," and you press that button. When you do, you're gonna get a menu, and you're gonna have a choice to quit or resume. And this is great because if you press that by accident, like say you're at the Universe and you're dancing around there, you're having a good time, and all of a sudden you press that button by accident, right? You just press resume, you'll come right back in Altspace and no one will even know you were gone. Right, you won't miss anything, and this way, Unity won't destroy you with her awesome admin powers, right? But this is also good to press when things go wrong, all right? So let's say I look out the window there, and I'm like, oh, wow, like, oh, that's nice. And then I turn my head back, and as I turn my head back, the whole world moves with me and makes me feel kind of dizzy, right? That's not a good feeling. So you need to know how to deal with that quickly. So you have that eject button there. You just press on that button, right? You press quit, and then you restart the app. And this is going to take care of most of the problems that you're going to have in Altspace. But occasionally something more severe might happen. Like if I look out that window again and I see there's a black void on the edge of my screen, and I'm like, uh-oh, it's the black void again. And then all of a sudden I see it's on the top, it's on the bottom, it's off to the side, and all my friends are frozen in space, all dramatic like this, right? Oh, I know there's something going on. So I press my eject button, right? Like I just said, but nothing happens. And I'm like, Michael Forrest, you lied to me. How could you? Right? But that's not what's going on. Your app is frozen, right? And this could not just happen in Altspace. This could happen in other apps as well. So what you need to do is you need to know how to restart your headset. And it pays to know how to restart it while it's still on your head. I used to take mine off to restart it. But if it's not plugged in, if you're having it plugged in and it's not in a charge cycle and it doesn't light up and it takes so long to restart it, you get to thinking something's wrong with your device. Right, so it pays to know how to do it, while it's still on your head. It's also quicker, right? So what you do is you take your index finger and you swipe it up and down on your headset on the side until you feel the raised up power button, right? As soon as you feel that, as a counterbalance, you take your left index finger and you kind of squeeze them together. I find it helps, and this isn't necessary, but I find it helps to go into a deep concentration pose, like look down like that. And after about 4 seconds, you concentrate so hard your avatar disappears and you get plunged into darkness, but you don't let go. You just hang on, right? You just ride that out. And after about 10 seconds, you start wondering, man, why did Oculus make it take so long? After about 15 seconds, you start thinking about friends you haven't seen in a while. You wonder how they're doing. 20 seconds go by, you start thinking about life. You start thinking of big questions. And 20 seconds go by, and all of a sudden, out of the darkness, the Oculus logo emerges like the bat signal, and it starts to pulse. And when it starts to pulse, you just take your fingers away like that, right? And your device will start normally. And honestly, this is going to take care of most of your problems, not just in Altspace, but on our apps as well. And you also need to know about something a little bit more severe when something goes seriously wrong. All right. And I'm going to tell you, last night I had a show and I came in, and every time I came into Altspace, the app would just close after like less than 2 minutes of being in. It was very frustrating. I had to cancel my event. You know what I did? Right. Well, I reinstalled Altspace. The same thing kept happening. So you know what I did? I did what's called a factory reset, and it took care of it, right? So if you have any kind of like extreme problem, it pays to know about the factory reset, but you have to understand that you have any picture saved on your device, you're going to lose those. You're going to have to re-download all of your apps. Good news is you won't have to pay for them again, and you're going to lose all your preferences too. Those like when you walk around, you got those blinders that come on the edges. If you don't like those, I can't stand them myself, you're going to have to take them off again, right? You may even lose your Beat Saber scores, so it's serious business. Only use this in an emergency, but it pays to know that it's there because it's going to put your headset back the way it was the day you got it. All right, now let's see what else we have here. All right, now listen, if you're here today, you already understand and know about the Guardian system, right? Now the Guardian system, listen, because you've danced with the robot, you played with the blimp, you did all that fun stuff. But if you're experiencing dizziness in VR, you can use the Guardian system to your advantage. Even if you're not on a Quest, like if you're on any device really, if you feel dizziness when you're in VR, take a good look at your hand. And I know that's not your real hand there, right? But you know what? If you're looking at this thing and you're focusing on it, this can actually make the dizziness pass. And when it does, slowly take that hand away and take in the world around you. And this is really going to help. But you can also use your Guardian system for this too. And I like to tell people when they mess around with their Guardian system, please be very careful, because a lot of times you'll see somebody walking along in Altspace, they're having a good day. And this actually happened to me the other day. Right, this is the same thing. People walking along like this, and all of a sudden, bam! They hit a real world wall. And let me tell you, those real world walls are a menace, and they need to be stopped. All right. But listen, if you're walking around your play space, you just make sure, right, that you lead with your hands, especially if you're new to VR and you're not comfortable in the space yet, you don't have like that awareness yet. Lead with your hands. It'll help a lot. And when you get close to the edge of your space, that big grid is going to appear in the air in front of you, right? Like if I walk up to my real world wall right now and I got my hands out, I'm doing just like I told you, and all of a sudden I got that grid in the air in front of me, right? Right. Well, there we go. I got it. Now I can still touch my thumbsticks. So I can be standing still in the real world while my avatar moves around here in VR. And what I can do is I can slide on over to the screen and I can line up my real world wall with this big display here. And I can back up and take it all in. It's going to create like a reality anchor, make me feel connected to the real world. But oh no, I've fallen off the stage and I'm in the audience. Now let's say you guys aren't very nice. Right? Come over here and mess with me. Stick your hands in my face and try to make me dizzy. Give me the worst you got. Get it all out, people. You know, really kind of work me over. Give me a hard time. All right. Now you'll see that here I'm here and I'm looking at the display, and so you guys aren't even trying. You guys are a nice crowd. All right. Even my moderators are getting into it, but you guys are really nothing you can throw at me is going to throw me off because I can still see that display. As long as I can see that display, I'm not going to have a problem. Yeah, and you know it's so big you really can't block my vision at all. Right. And listen, it doesn't have to be something big like this display here. You can use like the stage. All right. Like you know, the edge of the stage here. Line this up with a real world table or a real world desk, and this is going to help you feel connected to the real world. Let's see, who's that? How you doing, Bob? I saw you waving back, Bob. I'm feeling that connection. I don't know where you're in the world, but hi. All right. So what happens now is, you know, that's going to make you feel connected to the real world. And actually, that's going to give you a frame of reference and make you feel less dizzy if you get that when you're in VR. All right. Another thing you can do, all right, which is, and this isn't useful, this is just kind of cool. What you can do is you can actually go up to the edge of your space, right? Make sure you got enough room for your head to pass through. Right. And when you do, you know, when you move your head through, the pass-through camera goes off. Right. And when that happens, you also got that new experimental feature where you can double tap the headset. Right. And it'll activate the pass-through camera, you know, and so that's kind of useful. But what you can do is if you walk up to the edge and you go to move your head through it like that, right, you're going to see both realities at the same time if you do it super slow. And this is cool because you'll get a sense for how tall Altspace avatars actually are. And you really won't get a sense for this until you see them in a familiar environment like your living room or your office or wherever you VR from. Turns out Altspace avatars are about 6 feet tall. They're a lot wider than you would think too. And it really drives it home when you see them at home, right? All right. Now, also, let's see here. Now, lost my place there. Oh yeah, you could also transition right between a standing experience, a room scale experience, or a stationary experience pretty effortlessly in Altspace. So let's say that you know I'm up here and I'm coming up on my 500 event real soon. Right. You know, I think early next month. And, you know, I'm tired. I've been doing this for a while. I'm exhausted. I need to sit down, everybody. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the edge of my Guardian. Right. I'm going to make sure I got enough room to stick my head through, or even better, I'm just going to do that tap, tap. Right. Which is really cool. You go tap, tap. And all of a sudden I can see the real world. All right. And I see I got my coffee mug right here. I take a sip of that and I throw it down, and I'm going to have to clean that up later. I probably shouldn't have done that. And I look over there and I've got my chair. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk on out of my Guardian, you know, and over to my chair, and I'm going to sit down. And now I've got a blue button in my face asking if I want to have a stationary experience. Right. So I sit down in that chair and I press on that blue button, and all of a sudden the grid comes up, and I find that not only am I still in VR, but I'm still in Altspace. I never actually left. Right. You know, and it turns out that the only difference is my avatar is going to be down low now because I just sat down. Right. That vertical height thing. But as soon as I press down that left thumbstick, my avatar is going to pop right back up. Right. And it's going to be like I never left. Right. This works in the other direction too. Like there was one time I was moderating an event and I felt like getting up and walking around. Right. So what I did was, you know, I got up and I thought I was going to step into my Guardian. But sometimes the Quest and the Quest 2 can lose your Guardian. Right. Where you're going to have to, like, it's going to ask you to redraw a boundary. Right. And normally that's not a big deal. But there was only 2 minutes left of the event, so it was a very big deal, you know, because I'm moderating. I'm like, oh no, what am I going to do? And I'm like, why is my space so big and elaborate? And oh, what am I going to do? And, you know, of all the days I had to moderate for an admin, why did it have to be today? Well, you know what? As soon as I closed that grid, as soon as that grid came up, right, I found that I was still in Altspace. I never actually left. So you can transition between a stationary and a standing experience pretty effortlessly in Altspace, all right? And it pays to keep that in mind, because this way you get to be comfortable, because you're at an event and you get excited and you want to stand up and you want to get moving. You can do that. Right. If you want to, you know, if you want to sit down and relax a little bit, you know, because, oh man, I'm tired. This guy's been going on for like 20 minutes. What am I going to do? Right. You know, that's all you got to do. You can sit down, be comfortable and enjoy yourself. All right. Now, the great thing about the Quest is it just works. Right. There's a lot of accessories that can make it work better. We have some listed up on, if you go to altvr.com, in the upper left, you're going to see where it says channels. Now, if you click on that, you're going to see all these wonderful Altspace event channels, and down toward the bottom. And I'm told it doesn't mean anything, guys. It doesn't mean anything to be on the bottom, but you're going to see that it says Ravenhall events, like it says up on that back wall there. And when you click on that, you're going to be taken to our event page, and there you're going to see a bunch of products the left-hand side that we recommend, for having a good experience on the Quest. But now the Quest 2, we're still researching those accessories, and it turns out that on the Quest 2, some of these accessories are actually necessities, right? Also on that page, you're going to see a join Discord button if you have any questions, you want to say hello or help us organize events like this. You also see the most important button on the internet, and that's the subscribe button. And when you press it, it lets Altspace know that you enjoy our content. We don't get paid to do this, so every time we see that number go up, it makes us feel good. Makes us feel even better when you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you are watching out on YouTube, you're going to find links to all these products in the description below. All right, but we are still assembling a list of these, Quest 2 accessories, and like I said, some of them are like necessities. Like there's so many people that have told me that the original strap that comes with the Quest 2 is extremely uncomfortable, and that the Elite strap is the way to go. But then I heard that the Elite strap is breaking for people. But you know what? I banged my headset into a wall last week. Right, I just walked into the wall with the thing, and the strap held. It didn't snap. It didn't crack. There were no issues whatsoever, right? So, bear that in mind that, we're going to be hearing a lot of things, and I don't feel comfortable recommending anything until I've actually tried it. But at this point, if any of you guys have tried any accessories, I want to hear about it. If you have any questions or you have any comments, what's going to happen now is in your lower right, you're going to notice that there is a raise hand that's going to appear as if by magic. It's true. That's what magic looks like in VR. And if you press it, it's going to turn blue, and you're going to get on my list, and I'm going to, call your name, and I'm going to get to feel like a radio show host, but if you've tried any accessories for the Oculus 2, I want to hear about it. Like, what have you tried? What did you think? If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, we can take those now. Let's see. Who do we have here? We have Bob. Bob, what's up? You're on the air, and I feel like a, radio show host. What's going on, Bob? Where are you?
Can you hear me?
There, Bob. Yeah, I can hear you fine. What's going on?
Okay, so 2 questions. One, you said like you could tap on the side of your headset and it goes through a pass-through, but I'm tapping and I don't feel it.
That's because it's an experimental feature. After we're done here, what I want you to do is go to your Oculus main menu. Now, on your Oculus main menu, on the lower right, you're going to see a cogwheel, right? Like settings. And you press on that cogwheel, and down there, you're going to look for an area that says experimental features. All right, it's highly classified, highly experimental. I'm surprised you haven't heard about it. All right, and there you're going to see something about double tap pass through. And once you have that checked off, you just check it off. It'll turn blue, and you'll be ready to go. All you have to do then is just, when you come back into Altspace or any other app, right? Anytime you want to see the so-called real world, which I didn't believe in until I saw this thing. To be honest with you, you just go tap tap on the side, or you can do it on the other side, tap tap, and it'll just activate the pass through camera. It is super handy, man. You're going to love this thing, and you're going to be like, man, I'm glad I tried that. Yeah, what's that?
My other question is that, do you think they're ever going to do it where you can just be hands-free with Altspace?
They have hand tracking now. They once had hand tracking in Altspace, actually. There were some people in here on, I think it was called a Leap Motion device, and it's incredible when you see it. Like, it seemed like all this body language. We saw some types of sign language going on in here, and it's funny because they took that out in order to make room for the Quest users coming into Altspace. But what's funny is then all of a sudden, hand tracking came to the Quest. Right, so they probably could have kept that, and so it was, it's definitely a good thing. So you're going to see that evolve more and more. Right now, personally, I've tried the hand tracking on the Quest, and I don't think it's fully there yet. It like flickers around a lot. Maybe it's just that I'm not used to it yet because I'm used to having the controllers in my hands, like that. But right now, I don't think it's fully there yet. But it's definitely coming. They're improving it all the time. It's much better now than it was about 4 or 5 months ago. All right. Let's see. I'm not seeing anyone else on the list. So what we're going to do, all right, is actually we got time for one more here. We got Alien, what's up? You're on the air. You should be on the air.
Hi there.
I feel like a radio show. I love saying that. Hi, Alien, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for doing this very much. I wanted to get a screenshot to get all of the addresses, YouTube and the Ko-Fi and Discord, because they're all in front of me, and I wanted to get a screenshot, but I don't know how to do that.
All right, let me tell you, you know what?
Capture it.
This used to be super complicated because it used to be, now you notice in your menu wheel, you have like an icon of, it looks like a person watching television. There's like or a movie maybe. There's a person, like a face with a box around it, right? That one is a selfie. And that used to be the only picture option we had available in Altspace. So you'd actually have to put, like if I want to take a picture of the screen, I'd actually have to put my back to it and take a selfie and be like, man, I hope I got in the shot. Oh, that didn't take. Let me try this angle. And it was super annoying, right? Now it's so much easier. Because if you want to take a forward-facing shot, like you just look to the area you want to take a picture of, right? And you see on the bottom of your menu wheel, there's a camera, right? Now, when you press on it, there's going to be a countdown that goes 3, 2, 1, and then it'll snap the picture, and then you can get the picture later by going to altvr.com, all right, and you're going to log into your account, and at the very top, you're going to see all these links there, all right, and one of those links is going to say photos, and all of your photos will be right there. You can even upload your own photos and use them in your worlds. Right. So if you want to be in your home space and you're being like, and you have a picture of like maybe your cat or, or maybe your house or something like that, you can do that, so that's pretty cool. All right. Now, what we're going to do right now is at the end of our events, we like to take everybody flying. We like to teach everybody how to fly in Altspace and answer, and ask, questions if they have. Also, by the way, you may have noticed there's a shark up on the stage with me. All right, I'm used to it, so you guys might be thinking that's kind of weird. Like, what's this shark doing with this guy? Right? This is connected to our other event called It's Shark Time. We give away world building kits. It's kind of a game show. It's a lot of fun. I hope you come and check us out. The next one we're doing is going to be Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And if you come out and see us, you can find us in the events tab of your main menu under the all section. You might have to page through it, but click on interested. You'll get an email reminder an hour before the event. Come by and see us, and wave and say hello and all that stuff. It's a good time. But right now we're going to press this button, and when I do, a Ravenhall Talon hovercraft is going to fly down the street, and it's this aircraft that you can actually fly. It's going to go up over those trees and land in that backyard area. Morgan, I've lost my button push. Can you press the button for me if you give it a chance?
Ravenhall Talon aircraft en route to your position.
Now, this out the window, this is a Ravenhall Talon hovercraft. You can actually fly this ship, all right? So let's head out and meet an Outback as it comes in, all right? And listen, if you've learned anything here today, right, please share it with those you come in contact with. So if, you explore an Altspace and you see somebody down on the ground, you go, what's wrong? And they're like, I'm on a quest and I'm stuck in the ground. You tell them to press down on that left thumbstick like it's a button, because it is, and you learn that here today, all right? They'll pop up and they'll feel better. You'll feel better because you help somebody, and that's how we help keep this thing going. All right, here it is. It's going to get in kind of low. Don't worry, I won't hit anybody.
Aircraft is now boarding outside for transport to the Ravenhall Flight Academy. Please exit the building and step into the blue light. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming. You've been a great audience. I'll see you next time.